Honey, is this thing on? Hello? Is there anybody out there? Oh, that's kind of catchy.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I gotta turn my songs back on. Oh, that's what the problem, ladies and gentlemen. I had my voice recognition software, and my wonderful program, Microsoft Windows Media Player, could not handle it. So I apologize for that minor snafu, but we've resolved the snafu, and we're just going to do a little bit of talking. We're going to try to set the record straight. We're going to do a Mariah Carey for the record. Okay? I have people who presume and assume because they email me a question and I specifically state that I don't have the time to answer their questions, that I don't like answering questions. Oh God, this is the most appropriate song that I could play in reference to that, because it does take a fool to learn. First, the amount of emails that I get with nothing but questions, it takes me on most days at least an hour to get through the emails of that day and providing just a simple response. I've been up yesterday since 5 o'clock and didn't go to sleep until 12. The day before, 6 o'clock, went to sleep at 1. The day before, 6 o'clock, went to sleep at 1. I don't think many of you get it. This is what I do. This is all I do now. And I'm not like the rest of you. I don't get to go take care of my own business because I had to replace some items on my automobile. That means I had to go to a location, AutoZone, which is not near my residence. Excuse me, I used the wrong word. Not near my domicile, place where I live. And so that took an hour and a half just to go get the items. And you know, sometimes when you go to places like Pep Boys, they don't have the part for your car. That's why I choose AutoZone, because if AutoZone don't have it, they will have it delivered to their location the very next day at no extra charge. They do the same thing here that they do in the States. So I prefer AutoZone. Plus, they will match any of their competitors' prices. So I choose AutoZone. Not advertising AutoZone, just letting you know. So my Saturday, while all of you are out there kicking it with your families, barbecuing, making lunch, making dinner, able to kick back, watch football, basketball, baseball, because this is the season, I don't get to do any of that. I don't get to do a single bit of that. Because my phone, when it rings, there are people contacting me to talk about this stuff. So many of you think, oh, he does a whole lot of research. It's just a lot of research. No, he doesn't get to do a lot of research because he's doing paperwork, stacks of paperwork. So much paperwork. I've gone through, and my printer has the ability of printing 1,000 pages on one extra large black ink cartridge. I've gone through 2 of those ink cartridges over the last 2 weeks. Well, you need to get yourself a bigger printer. Really? Yeah, you need to get that printer that has that, ink cartridge that sits up there and then you shake it and you can put it back in there and still use it. And you can refill those and it costs about $70 to refill. Really? Oh, you're talking about a LaserJet printer. Yeah. Well, sorry folks. I'm not about to go through another LaserJet printer. I bought a brother's LaserJet printer And when the ink went out, you couldn't use the printer anymore. You had to refill all the cartridge. So you couldn't just use black. If yellow went out, you had to refill that cartridge. If blue went out, you had to refill that cartridge. You had to refill the cartridges. And I don't have time for that type of game that these printer companies do. But again, that's not your business, because that's not your problem. So let's settle this thing about people sitting up there trying to dictate who I am and dictate what I do. These are my videos, not yours. And I don't do them to please you. One of a Kind, Love Affair by the Spinners. These are the songs I grew up listening to. And so I'm going to play the music I choose to play. And if that makes some of you unhappy, if that makes you cry, because the world is just not the same anymore. So what? This is my game. I created this game. I created the rules. That's why, if you notice, the site is called Redress Right. Okay, let's get to some information. So, for those of you who think that he doesn't like answering questions, it has nothing to do with whether I like answering questions or not. Those of you who know me, those of you who call me, those of you who communicate with me, know that I answer questions all the time. But many of you have many questions. You don't just have one. I answer one question and then you say, wait, hold on, I got one more question. But I gotta go. No, I just got one more question. But no, I really have to go. No, it doesn't take quick. This won't take too long. That's what I deal with. Then I get emails saying, oh, you do such wonderful work. Oh, I just love you. Oh, I appreciate you so much on that last video. Ooh, that was creative. Ooh. Oh, but I got one question. Oh, and if that's your answer, what about? Oh, and then if you say this, then what about? Oh, and then don't forget. Okay, and then now I got this one final question. What about? And those are the emails I get. So what we've done is we've gotten rid of the automatic response email that lets you know that apparently you're trying to reach us and we are away. But we do appreciate it and we're bombarded. I removed that completely. So from now on, those individuals, I'll be working my way back to you, babe. Sorry. Spinners. Okay. For those of you who believe, for those of you who think, for those of you who imagine that you're going to be able to continue to bombard my emails with questions about everything, child support, taxes, code enforcement, telling me about your cases, telling me that somebody's in jail, money orders. When are you going to tell us about how to do the new hour-style money orders? I'm not. I've already told you guys on video that information was only reserved for a privileged few. So we will talk about it at the seminar, but you're not going to be seeing a video on that anytime soon. Anytime soon. So this is just for me to set the record straight, because there's some of you out there talking about me. You don't have that right. You don't have a right to talk about me behind my back, but many of you are doing it. God, some of you people think that I am so naive. If only you knew. Okay. Let's take care of a couple of things. A year ago, we told you gas prices would spike and that they would devalue the dollar. And here it is a year later, and you're seeing that. Gas prices do not go up in the fall. After Labor Day, prices go down. So why are prices going up, and why did California go from $3.95 a gallon at the cheapest gas stations to $4.59 at the cheapest gas station overnight from Friday to Saturday? Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the weekend that it all gets started. We were saying the week of October 10th. This could be the weekend that it all gets started. But we know it's going to be from this weekend till November 30th. They're going to do something stupid. And why not raise gas prices? There was no reason for gas prices to be raised. Many of you don't understand the embargo against Iran. Do you know what that was about? The embargo against Iran was done for a specific reason. Iran was selling oil to Russia and China. Putting an embargo on them helps to raise prices, not lower them. You heard news this week about the currency in Iran and about how many people there are trying to get the dollar. I've heard those reports. Now, if you want to see what's really going on, go and type in General Wesley Clark and then the word NPR, National Public Radio, interview in YouTube. Wesley Clark's interview, or NPR interview in YouTube. Just type that in. It's a 2003 interview. It's a short 5-minute interview. But he talks about how they were going to invade 5 Middle Eastern countries. Libya, Syria, Iran, Sudan, and what's the other one? Egypt. And the news in Sudan. That's amazing that NATO is there too. This is what's happening right now, but people are not paying attention. So I'm not about to take you there. I'm sorry. Oh. All right, now let's continue to try to explain some things. And this is going to be the last segment. By the time this song ends, I will end this video and put it up. With the mortgages, many of you have not been recognizing the word grantor in your mortgage. So please go back and retake a look at your mortgage and notice that you are the grantor. Take a look at your deed of trust. Many of you have no idea that a deed of trust is a trust agreement, a revocable trust agreement. And because it's a deed of trust, it can be revoked, and there are ways of revoking it. Do your research. You are the grantor. You are the one permitting and allowing the banks to do what they do. But they say that I gave up all my rights. No, you didn't. The grantor cannot give up all of his rights. He is the grantor. He can always take them back. It's like Indian giving. He's the grantor. He's the biggest Indian on the land. He can take back whatever he chooses, the same way the banks try to take back whatever they choose. He is the grantor. Now, this is going to be a big surprise to some of you. All mortgages come with mortgage default insurance, especially conventional mortgages. We have proven this. If you don't believe me, call your bank and ask them who is the mortgage default insurance provider. They're not going to want to tell you because they know exactly what you're asking. If you get into a car accident, okay, you get into a car accident, what happens next? You want to get your car fixed, you exchange information, and you file a stupid claim. So, because you file a claim, what do you expect to happen? You expect them to repair your car. Well, your house has mortgage default insurance. You got into an accident because you can't make the payments anymore. And the bank verifies it by sending you a default notice. So it's been verified. So you file a claim because you want the damage to be repaired. People, start paying attention to what's going on. And maybe we can all get there together. So, we're going to end this video. Look at that. She's calling for mercy. So I'm asking all of you to have some mercy and stop bombarding me. Okay? If it hasn't been talked about on video, I won't be talking about it.
You are watching a master at work.
You know, they say there's no money.
You are watching
They say that HJR 190 1992 does not exist. They say that the United States did not file bankruptcy in 1933.
You are watching a master at work.
They say that they are not treating us like corporations when we walk into court. They say that our names are not titles. They say that we cannot
You are watching
be
a
more
master at
than
work.
a servant. They say that they are not fiduciaries, they are not trustees, but yet they say a lot of stuff.
You are watching a master at
But
work.
when we look into it and we do the
You are
research,
watching a master
we
at work.
find out that they are everything they say they're not. So what are we gonna do about it? Are we gonna let them continue to say what they say, or are we gonna stand up and start speaking for ourselves? You cannot speak up for yourself if you remain silent. You cannot speak up for yourself if you refuse to speak. You cannot speak up for yourself if you are a fiction. Are you a fiction? Are you a fiction? Are you a fiction? Only time will tell.